Yeah, good afternoon, students, and welcome back to chapter number 3, that is atoms and molecules. And as we have already discussed in our previous video, what are atoms and how laws of chemical combinations they have played their role in defining the atom or explaining the role of atom in our day-to-day life. Clear? And accordingly, we have also discussed the two laws of chemical combinations, that is the law of conservation of mass along with the law of constant proportion. Clear? Along with that, we have also discussed about the Dalton's atomic theory. Clear? That explained about the various postulates of an atom. He has given various postulates on the basis of which he has described the various properties of atoms. Clear? Now today in this video we are just going to talk about what is atom, what is the size of an atom, and how an atom can be signified or how it can be represented through various symbols. Clear? So here starting up with the definition of atom. As we all know that when a building is being built up by a mason, then what happens that he aligns up a large number of the bricks in an orderly manner to build up a building. Clear? So there what happens that the bricks, they serve as the fundamental unit of that particular construction. Okay, so either it is a wall or it is a whole building. So the brick, it plays as a role of a what to say, fundamental unit or the basis of that particular building. Okay, in the similar manner, atoms also, they do have a significant role in the life of every individual organisms, as atoms, they also serve as the fundamental units. Clear? Of every matter. Basically, we are surrounded by a large number of the atoms in our surroundings. Since we are having different forms of the matter around us, maybe it is the solid, maybe it is the gas, maybe it is the liquid. Even our body, it is also composed of atoms. Clear? So here atoms can be defined as the fundamental unit of all matters. Atoms can be defined as the fundamental unit of all atoms. Of all matters. Clear? Now talking about the size of an atom. The atoms, they are very smaller in size, that we cannot see them through our naked eyes. Clear? And these are so smaller in size that when they are piled up one upon the other, making several layers, after putting up several layers of the atoms, still they are not as thick as the sheet of the paper. Clear? So we can say that atoms are very small in size, or they are minutest particles. Atoms are very small in size. Clear? So this is all about the atoms and talking about the size of the atoms. Okay, now what are the modern day symbols of atoms of different elements? As we all know that different elements, they are made up of different type of the different elements, they are made up of different atoms. And as in my Dalton's postulates, I have told you all that the atoms of the same element, they are similar in mass as well as chemical properties, and atoms of different elements, they are differing in their mass and their chemical properties. So along with that, over here Dalton, he was the very first one who has given various symbols to represent various type of the atoms. Some of the examples that I am just going to give it to you all over here. Basically the pictorial method. Dalton has chosen up the pictorial method that he has represented each and every atom through pictures, small pictures that were representing various atoms. Clear? So there are certain of the examples that were given by Dalton. For example, for hydrogen, he has taken a circle and he has put a small dot in the center. Clear? Then for carbon, it is a circle which is painted slightly from inside. Then for oxygen, it is a plain circle. Then for phosphorus, you can see that it is having what to say, a circle which is divided into three portions, three equal portions. This is phosphorus. Then we are talking about the sulfur. Then it is a circle having a cross sign in between. This is sulfur. Clear? Then when we are talking about the copper, copper circle along with C. This is copper. Okay. When we are talking about iron, so iron is I, written as I over here. Okay. Then silver, it is silver. And when we are talking about the mercury, it is having several dots at its periphery. This is mercury. Clear? So this is all about the various symbols, pictorial symbols that have been proposed by Dalton for various elements, atoms of various elements. For example, hydrogen. He has represented hydrogen as a circle having a dot in the center. When we are talking about the carbon, carbon is simply a circle which is shaded from inside, completely shaded from inside. Then next, when we are talking about oxygen, it is a empty circle. Oxygen is represented by an empty circle. Now when we are talking about the phosphorus, it can be it is a circle which is what to say, divided into three equal parts. Now when we are talking about the sulfur, when we are talking about sulfur, it is nothing else but a simple circle which is having a cross in between, dividing the whole of the circle into four equal parts. Then this is the symbol of the copper, in which there is a circle having C written at its center. Clear? Then when we are talking about the iron is also similar as it is found in the copper, that it is having a circle written having I written in the center. Then talking about silver, it is nothing else but again a circle having as written as at its center. Then talking about mercury, there is a slight difference in that there is a circle having several dots at its periphery. Clear? So these are the various symbols that are proposed by Dalton, and you should learn all these various symbols because they are important. So these symbols, they are given in, up in your NCERT book. Kindly have a read or kindly cram up these symbols from the book. Clear? So we are just going to move ahead, that how various scientists they have proposed. Accordingly, as you all know that various scientists, they have got various methods to describe various things. So here also various scientists, they have adopted various measures to represent the atoms of various elements, and one of the method we have seen up over here as proposed by Dalton. Clear? Now we are just going to talk about the other methods, that is the method that was adopted by Berzelius. Berzelius has adopted a method in which the symbols of an element were written by joining two letters. Clear? So accordingly, Berzelius method, as we are talking about Berzelius method, it is given in your books clearly. Clear? That in the beginning the names of the elements, they were derived from the places from which they were obtained. Clear? In the beginning, when the representation of the atoms of various elements were taking place, so in the beginning what happened, that the atoms, they were represented by the names, letters of the names of the places from which these were first of all obtained or first of all discovered. For example, copper. When we are talking about the copper, the name copper has been derived from a place named as Cyprus. Cyprus is the place from where copper was very first discovered, or where, where it was obtained. Clear? So this is how it was obtained. Next, other scientists, they have adopted other measures, like when we are talking about the gold. Gold, it has been given up its name on the basis of its color. Basically, that is aurum. Gold is aurum. It is represented as AU. Gold, it is represented as AU, and it is aurum. It is derived from the word aurum. Aurum means what to say, yellowish in color. In a similar manner, the other name, that is silver. Silver, it is represented by Ag. Ag is derived from argentum. Clear? And that means silvery in color. Silver, that is argentum. Okay. Now, when writing the names of the elements, when we are writing the names of the elements, sometimes, not sometimes, very often, it is followed that the first two letters of the name are taken up, and they are being used as the representative of that atom. Okay, representative symbol of that atom. For example, when we are talking about what to say, helium, it is He. Clear? So for helium, we are taking for example, as you all know, that when we are talking about hydrogen, the spelling of hydrogen is Hydrogen. So when we are representing hydrogen, according to Berzelius method, what we do, we just represent it by a capital letter, that is H, a single capital letter H. More often, we represent the atoms of elements by two letters, two first letters. Clear? So accordingly, example is helium. Helium, the spelling is Helium. So here the first two letters are H and E. Clear? And accordingly, we take the first two letters as representative of this element. Clear? So here the first two letters that has been taken, there are again certain rules for writing these two letters. That is the first letters. It should always be written in capital, and the second letter, it should always be written in small letters. So here accordingly, H, since it is the first letter, it should be always written in capital letters, and E, since it is the second letter, it should be always written in small letters. Accordingly, we are just going to give you other examples also, that is lithium. So it is Li, capital L and I. Clear? So there are varied examples of all these what to say things. Now there are certain exceptions also, that in certain cases we are not just taking the first two consecutive letters, but instead we are taking the first letter, and the other letter is taken which is coming later in the name. For example, chlorine. So here we represent chlorine as Cl. Clear? So here C, as it is the first letter of the element, it has been taken up as the representative of that element, and L, which comes third in the spelling of the name of chlorine, then it has also been taken up over here. And again, as the rules we follow, that C is written in capital letter and L is written in small letters. Getting my words? So there are varied examples apart from chlorine. There are other examples also. Clear? So now talking about what to say, other things that has been kept in mind while what to say, representing the atoms. Many of the times Latin and Greek words, they have also been used for what to say, explaining for representing the names of the elements. For example, iron, it is written as Fe. Iron is written as Fe, and Fe has been derived from the Latin name ferrous. It is ferrum. Clear? And from there it has been derived as ferrous. The scientific name of iron is ferrous. Clear? Accordingly, sodium. So when we are talking about sodium, the symbol is Na. Clear? And Na has been derived from again the Latin name, that is natrium. And the spelling is Natrium. Accordingly, when we are talking about potassium, potassium is the symbol of the potassium is K, and it has been derived from again the Latin word, that is kalium. Clear? So these are the varied forms by which, or various methods by which, the symbols of various elements can be symbols of the atoms of various elements can be represented. Clear? So there is another table given in your NCERT book at the bottom of the content. Clear? So you just go and have a read through all that, because it is very important, since it is going to be utilized in formation of molecules, the formula of the molecules. Clear? So it is very important, as it is the basis of your 10th standard chemistry also. So kindly mug up all the symbols of the atoms that has been given up in the table that is given in your chapter. Clear? Now next we are just going to talk about the next thing, that is atomic mass unit or atomic mass. Atomic mass. So what is atomic mass? As you all know, Dalton, he has defined the Dalton's atomic theory, and his theory was so specific, so precise, that it it was found to be true for the constant law of constant proportion. Clear? Again I am repeating that in the previous section we have discussed about the Dalton's atomic theory, and Dalton's atomic theory was so precise that it was found to be true for the law of constant proportion of atoms in a given molecular mass. Clear? So here the other scientists, they were forced to find out the atomic masses of various atoms of various elements. Clear? So they tried to find it out, but it was very difficult for every scientist to find out the atomic mass of an individual atom. Clear? The reason behind this is, again, as I've told you in my in this video only, that since the atoms, they are very smaller in size, therefore it becomes very tough for us to calculate the exact or precise atomic mass of that particular individual atom. Therefore, what do? We calculate out the relative atomic mass. Clear? And again, accordingly, as the evolution of chemistry has taken place, and as we have been proceeding on, so there has been varied ways by which the atomic masses of various atoms have been calculated out. Clear? And what happens over here, that previously, for example, we have calculated out the relative atomic mass of carbon and oxygen in the molecule of carbon monoxide. So carbon monoxide, the molecule is formed by single atom of carbon and single atom of oxygen. This is carbon monoxide, and it was experimentally proved that 3 grams of carbon combines up with 4 grams of oxygen, or we can say that carbon, it combines up with 4 by 3 carbon, it combines up with 4 by 3 parts of oxygen to make up a molecule of carbon monoxide. To make up a molecule of carbon monoxide. So here we have taken carbon as a standard unit. Clear? Since we are just what to say, calculating out the relative atomic mass. Relative, when we are talking about the relative, we are just talking about we are calculating the atomic mass in reference to the atomic mass of the other element. सपोजिटली जैसे कि आप लोगों के आपने देखा होगा, आई एम जस्ट एक्सप्लेनिंग इट टू यू इन हिंदी. जैसे आपने कई बार देखा होगा कि जब आप किसी ग्रोसरी शॉप पर जाते हो, या वेरी ऑफन ये जो व्हाट टू से फ्रूट वेंडर्स होते हैं या ये वेजिटेबल वेंडर्स होते हैं, जिनके पास वो सारे वेट्स वगैरह नहीं होते, वो क्या करते हैं कि वो रिलेटिव एटॉमिक व्हाट टू से रिलेटिव वेट निकालते हैं. रिलेटिव वेट निकालते हैं. सपोजिटली दे नो कि व्हाट टू से अगर उनके पास जैसे 1 किलो का वेट है, ठीक है, 2 किलो 3 किलो का और 5 किलो का, 2 किलो का और 5 किलो का उनके पास में नहीं है. सो वो क्या करेंगे कि उस 1 किलो का वे लेंगे और उस 1 किलो के वे के अकॉर्डिंग जो भी उनके पास में फ्रूट या वेजिटेबल है उसको वे कर लेंगे. ठीक है, तो दैट इज इक्वल टू 1 किलो. सो 1 किलो का वेट उनके पास ऑलरेडी है और 1 किलो का वेजिटेबल या फ्रूट उन्होंने ऑलरेडी उसके अकॉर्डिंगली वे कर लिया है. तो ये दोनों मिलकर के क्या हो जाएंगे, 2 kgs. ठीक है, अब ये उस पर्टिकुलर 1 किलो वेट को और वो जो वेजिटेबल उसने उसके अकॉर्डिंग वे किया है, उन दोनों को लेकर के ही इज गोइंग टू रेफर टू इट एज 2 kgs. गेटिंग माई वर्ड्स? क्यों? क्योंकि ये उसने रिलेटिव उसमें किया है और अब उसके पास, हालांकि उसके पास में 2 kg का वे नहीं है, ठीक है, लेकिन फिर भी उसके पास में 2 किलो सब्जी या फल को वे करने के लिए उसके पास एक स्टैंडर्ड रेफरेंस है. गेटिंग माई वर्ड्स? सो इसी तरह से हम कैलकुलेट आउट करते हैं रिलेटिव एटॉमिक मास. सो फर्स्ट जो हमारा केस था रिलेटिव एटॉमिक मास कैलकुलेट करने का, वो था कि हमने कार्बन मोनोऑक्साइड को एज अ स्टैंडर्ड लिया, कार्बन को एज अ स्टैंडर्ड लिया इन केस ऑफ कार्बन मोनोऑक्साइड. और यहाँ पर जब हमने उसको एक्सपेरिमेंटली प्रूव किया, क्लियर, सो हमने ये पाया कि 3 grams of 3 parts of carbon combines up with 4 parts of oxygen to form a molecule of carbon monoxide. अगर यहाँ पर मैं एटॉमिक मास व्हाट टू से को डिफाइन करना चाहूँ और उसको रिप्रेजेंट करना चाहूँ, तो उसकी ऐसा यूनिट जो होती है, प्रीवियसली द ऐसा यूनिट ऑफ एटॉमिक मास वाज गिवन एज AMU. AMU मीन्स एटॉमिक मास यूनिट. क्लियर? इट इज एटॉमिक मास यूनिट, AMU. लेकिन आजकल हम AMU वर्ड जो है यहाँ पर यूज ना करके हम यूज करते हैं म्यू. क्लियर? म्यू जो है आपका डिफाइन करता है यूनिफाइड मास. क्लियर? यहाँ पर म्यू जो है ये डिफाइन करता है आपका यूनिफाइड मास. सो अगर मैं एटॉमिक मास को डिफाइन करना चाहूँ, रिलेटिव एटॉमिक मास, सो रिलेटिव एटॉमिक मास यहाँ पर क्या हो जाएगा, रिलेटिव एटॉमिक मास विल बी इक्वल टू द मास ऑफ 1 atom ऑफ कार्बन atom present in a molecule of carbon monoxide. क्लियर? इस पर्टिकुलर केस के लिए, या इन जनरल अगर मैं बोलूं, therefore when we are talking about the relative atomic mass is equal to the mass of 1 atom of carbon. क्लियर? सो इस कंडीशन में अगर हम उसको प्रिसाइजली कैलकुलेट करते हैं एटॉमिक मास, सो वहां पर कार्बन का जो एटॉमिक मास आता है दैट इज इक्वल्स टू 1.0 और ऑक्सीजन जो है उसका एटॉमिक मास आता है 1.33. क्लियर? सो यहाँ पर हमें जो एटॉमिक मासेस मिले हैं वो मिले हैं 1.0 एंड 1.33. सो 1.33 इट इज नॉट अ होल नंबर. एंड एज वी ऑल नो, जैसे कि डाल्टन्स पोस्टुलेट था कि जब कभी भी एटम्स कंबाइन अप होते हैं दे ऑलवेज कंबाइन अप इन होल नंबर्स. क्लियर? सो ये जो एटॉमिक मास यूनिट की थ्योरी थी, इट वाज डिस्कार्डेड सिंस इट वाज नॉट गिविंग अस द होल नंबर्स. Getting my words? So second thing that we have adopted over here is that we have calculated atomic mass unit on the basis of oxygen. Clear? So when we were doing this, when we were calculating the atomic masses on the basis of oxygen, we say that one atomic mass is equal to 1/16th part of oxygen. It is 1/16th part of oxygen. जब मैं ये बात कह रही हूँ तो यहाँ पर क्या होता है, हमने ऑक्सीजन को क्यों लिया है, उसके पीछे दो ऑब्वियस रीजंस हैं कि सबसे पहला, ऑक्सीजन जो है ये लार्ज नंबर ऑफ एलिमेंट्स के साथ में कंबाइन अप होता है और उनके ऑक्साइड्स बनाता है. सेकेंडली जो रीजन था कि सेकेंड रीजन ये है, ये ऑक्सीजन के साथ में जब हम एटॉमिक मासेस को कंबाइन अप करते हैं या कैलकुलेट आउट करते हैं, ठीक है, सो वहाँ पर हमें एटॉमिक मासेस जो हैं होल नंबर्स में मिलते हैं. So for a very long time it was practiced that the atomic masses, they were calculated out keeping reference of oxygen, 1/16th part of oxygen. Okay, now very recently we have adopted a new method, that is we have taken carbon isotope 12 and we say that atomic mass is equal to 1/12th mass of 1/12th part of one carbon atom 12 radioactive carbon 12 is a radioactive carbon, and we say that atomic mass is the relative atomic mass. It can be defined as the atomic mass of an atom equivalent to the mass of one carbon 12 atom. Clear? So these are the various ways by which we can calculate और रिलेटिव एटॉमिक मासेस. यहाँ पर जैसे आपको आपकी बुक में एक एग्जांपल दिया हुआ है कि आपको व्हाट टू से, जैसे किसी वेंडर से आपको वाटरमेलन परचेज करना है और वेंडर के पास में व्हाट टू से कोई वे नहीं है, कोई पर्टिकुलर साइंटिफिक ऐसा कुछ नहीं जिसके बेसिस पे वो आपको उसको वे करके दे सके. सो वो क्या कहता है कि उसका जो वाटरमेलन है इट इज़ इक्वल टू 12 यूनिट्स ऑफ एनी गिवन फ्रूट. जैसे कि उसके पास केले हैं, ठीक है, केले जो हैं अकॉर्डिंगली एज अ डजन की अगर हम बात कर रहे हैं तो वहाँ पर 12 यूनिट्स होंगी. एंड ही कैन से दैट जो वाटरमेलन का जो वेट है इट इज़ इक्वल टू द वेट ऑफ 1 डजन. 1 डजन मीन्स 12 यूनिट्स ऑफ दैट बनाना. क्लियर? सो 1 यूनिट what to say the mass of one watermelon is equal to the mass of 12 units of banana or 1 dozen of banana. Clear? So this is how we can calculate the atomic masses. Clear? Now when we are talking about atoms, that how do atoms exist? So जब हम atoms के existence की बात करते हैं, atoms जो हैं ये independently exist नहीं कर सकते. ठीक है, ये या तो aggregate करते हैं in the form of molecules or they aggregate in the form of compounds. Clear? Based upon the valencies that they possess. गेटिंग माई वर्ड्स. आपको कभी भी एटम्स जो है इंडिविजुअली एग्जिस्ट करते हुए नहीं दिखेंगे. वेरी रेयर केसेस में जिनको हम बोलते हैं नोबल एलिमेंट्स, ठीक है, वही एलिमेंट्स जो होते हैं इंडिपेंडेंटली एग्जिस्ट कर सकते हैं. बाकी एटम्स जो हैं इंडिपेंडेंटली एग्जिस्ट नहीं करते हैं सिंस एंड सिंस दे हैव टू सेटिस्फाई देयर ऑक्टेट्स इन ऑर्डर टू कंप्लीट अप देयर ऑक्टेट्स थ्रू द वैलेंसी मोड. गेटिंग माई वर्ड्स. वो चीज़ें मैं अभी नेक्स्ट जब भी वीडियो होगा आपको उसमें एक्सप्लेन करूंगी. क्लियर? सो दिस इज व्हाट आई हैव टॉट यू ऑल टुडे. और इस पोर्शन के बाद में आपके 2 क्वेश्चंस दिए हुए हैं, दैट इज डिफाइन द एटॉमिक मास यूनिट. क्लियर? सो व्हेन वी आर डिफाइनिंग द एटॉमिक मास यूनिट, ये आपकी ब्लूप्रिंट दिया हुआ है ऑन पेज नंबर व्हाट टू से 35. क्लियर? सो मैं आपके साथ साथ ये सारी ब्लूप्रिंट्स आपको डिस्कस करती चल रही हूँ. सो काइंडली डील अप विद ऑल द ब्लूप्रिंट्स और आप ये सारे के सारे ब्लूप्रिंट्स और इंटेक्स क्वेश्चंस अपनी नोटबुक में करेंगे. गेटिंग माई वर्ड्स. सो व्हेन वी हैव टू डिफाइन द क्वेश्चन इज डिफाइन द एटॉमिक मास यूनिट. अभी मैंने आपको डिफाइन किया है एटॉमिक मास यूनिट, हम उसको वेरियस वेज से डिफाइन कर सकते हैं, लेकिन जो अभी न्यूअर कंसेप्ट है उसके अकॉर्डिंग हम कैसे डिफाइन करेंगे, दैट एटॉमिक मास यूनिट इज इक्वल टू 1/12 of the mass of one atom of carbon 12 atom. Getting my words? Again I am repeating that atomic mass unit is equal to 1/12 of mass of one atom of carbon 12. Getting my words? ठीक है. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन जो था आपका, why is it not possible to see an atom with the naked eyes. So ये मैंने अपने स्टार्टिंग ऑफ द वीडियो में ही आपको बता दिया था कि it is because atom is very very small in size, therefore it cannot be seen with the naked eyes. मैंने अपने वीडियो के स्टार्टिंग में आपको बताया था कि ये इतने छोटे होते हैं कि अगर इनकी लेयर्स को, सेवरल लेयर्स को अगर एक के ऊपर एक, एक के ऊपर एक, एक के ऊपर एक अगर हम पाइलअप भी करते चलें, ठीक है, तब भी ये इतने थिक नहीं होते हैं जितने कि एक शीट ऑफ पेपर, मतलब आप जानते हो कि एक शीट ऑफ पेपर कितना थिक होता है, और ये उस एक शीट ऑफ पेपर का जितना भी थिक नहीं हो सकते हैं सेवरल लेयर्स ऑफ एटम को जब हम एक दूसरे के ऊपर पाइल अप कर दें. सो यू कैन इमेजिन दैट द एटम्स दे आर वेरी वेरी स्मॉल, दो एटम्स दे आर प्रेजेंट ऑल अराउंड अस, दे आर वेरी वेरी सिग्निफिकेंट, they are playing a very significant role in the survivability of all the organisms, and not only the survivability of organisms but in the survivability of this planet also. Clear? But still atoms, they are very very smaller in size, they are negligible in size, and hence we cannot see through them through our naked eyes. Getting my words? So this is all about what we have talked about in our video. Kindly have a look at my video, and what to say, do all the blueprint questions along with that, and do the main exercise also. Again and again I am repeating that. And if you are going to make the notes also, kindly make the notes and show it to me either through the videos or through the screenshots. और अगर फिर भी कोई प्रॉब्लम आती है तो आप अपने डाउट्स जो है मैसेजेस के थ्रू क्लियर आउट कर सकते हैं, नहीं तो आप मुझसे जब ऑनलाइन स्ट्रीमिंग क्लास होती है उस समय आप मुझसे पूछ सकते हैं. Clear? So we'll be dealing up the next part of the chapter in my next videos. So till then, thank you.